But with all the talk around infrastructure and cap goods, let's welcome on board Ashish Bhandari, the MD and CEO at Thermax Group, and speak to him about the various innovations which are taking place within the sector right now. Ashish, great to have you on ET Now. Thank you so much for taking the time out. First, let me talk about green hydrogen because, that really seems to be the buzzword. The government has now given a green signal to green hydrogen mission as well. What does it really mean for you at Thermax, and how do you feel that this is going to add on to the value chain in the scheme of things, and where does Thermax lie within that?
Good morning, and a very good morning to all your viewers as well. Very early days, to say what is Thermax's role. I can share what is it that we are working towards, but you'll have to give us at least another 6 months before there's some sort of clarity. And I'll share why there is a lack of clarity. The three roles Thermax has and available to it. First is the traditional role of being an EPC for hydrogen and generally renewable projects. The kinds of projects we're talking about in hydrogen fit Thermax's capabilities extremely well. The second part is the idea of getting into new ends of manufacturing, which is things like electrolyzer, but also a lot of adjacencies around biomass to hydrogen, where we have access to some technology that is unique and proprietary, capabilities around the whole gas cleaning systems, conditioning systems. So there are new opportunities on just the technology side that hydrogen will come with. And third is for industrial customers, build, own, operate models where today we provide steam from biomass, we provide power. Tomorrow you could provide hydrogen on a build, own, operate basis. All three of these elements depends on how offtake happens within various industries. And to me, it is still early days. There are a lot of open questions on policy, commercial viability, just how the carbon tax mechanism will come into play. And it'll still take at least another year before some of these spaces clear out.
Fine. We'll switch over from green hydrogen then and perhaps talk about it, when there are some meaningful updates. Tell me what the demand as well as the order book is looking like for you right now. Because clearly when it comes to the CapEx revival, it's way more real than it ever has been. Is that reflecting in your order inflows too?
I would say what you're saying is, yes, private CapEx is taking off. We see continued interest across multiple industries for our equipment, for services. Many industries are looking to move away from traditional high carbon footprint energy sources to new age capabilities, whether it be bio-CNG, biomass-based solutions, multi-fuel, waste to energy. So a lot of demand, zero liquid discharge solutions. In general, kind of differentiated solutions, we see demand. And that demand is driven both by brownfield as well as greenfield projects. That said, some of the bigger CapEx that, especially from the petrochemical refining industry, the larger steel and cement projects, will go through a bit of a lull in the coming year. But there is enough to keep us busy in a lot of other segments in some of the newer areas.
Good morning. This is Nantar also joining in on the conversation. So just taking this point forward, this big opportunity that we can see. How are you going to navigate through all of the competition, the conglomerates that have already announced billions and billions of dollars to be in the green hydrogen space? Has been part of their annual general meetings. In fact, we've seen how Adani FPO, the buzz around it, how it's also for the hydrogen play. Reliance is doing it. So many others are doing it. How do you navigate through the competition?
Very, very carefully, Nayantara. I think you put the nail on the head. It's a space where a lot of money will go. I think the first step is to be practical in where is Thermax's role. And just the way a Reliance or an Adani puts up a big refinery and a big cement plant, our job is not to to build the refinery, to be the developer of projects. Our job is to be a partner to those customers, help them execute, help them get to where they want to faster. Yeah, so the EPC element comes in strong out there. And as I said, their capabilities in engineering that Thermax has, which is an asset to many of these companies as they look to execute faster. Second, on the same links again, focus on some elements of technology where we have capability and competency and not fight the fight that everybody else is looking to fight, which means solar PV, which is like billions of dollars of investment, is not our cup of tea. Our cup of tea is to figure out those spaces which are where we have access to unique technology, where we think we can fight the fight, not just for the next 1 to 2 years, but for the next 10, 20 years. And more than anything, focus on the needs of our industrial customers, not get into the utility space, not get into spaces that where there are all these bigger players. Focus on areas where we have a real strength to provide.
So as you navigate so carefully and also don't have to replicate what maybe some of the conglomerates are doing, exactly the point that you're trying to make out, can you tell us what exactly it is that Thermax will be doing? What will be your specialty? You're still going to need that electrolyzer. Where is that under development? Or you don't need it? I can see you shaking your head. So you tell us, what will be Thermax's capability? Is there already CapEx that has been earmarked specifically for this? Will it be joint ventures, technology transfers?
Early days, I think all of those are possibilities. Possibly none of those are end results. Yep. As I said, we are very clear in areas that we are interested in, our needs. We have defined it not just now. A year ago, we created a new energy division at that particular point. Some portions we know are our strengths. Those we will go much faster. Some we are talking, having a lot of discussions. Unclear if anything will come out of it. Yep. So you need to give us time. As I've said, give us 6 months, maybe even a year. And I think that there is a lot of possibility because this is the energy space which will define the next, not just the next 3 to 4 years. You're preparing for the next 20 years, 25 years of the company. So we know we need to be aggressive as well, but we need to make our moves with a lot of thought. So I think, Nayanthara, that's the best I can put it at. And I would say as the industry develops, beyond just the electrolyzer, there will be a lot of new capabilities, a lot of new technologies that the industry will need. The electrolyzer of the overall cost of producing hydrogen is actually less than 15% of the overall piece of the puzzle. Yeah, electricity is 60%. The rest of the balance of plant is 2/3 of what remains. You need differentiated solutions in gas handling, gas management, water. Electrical side is quite big. So there are a lot of different parts of this puzzle that also can be worked on beyond the electrolyzer itself.
Ashish,
and I'm not saying we're interested in the electrolyzer. Very interested, but it has to be a good play that makes a good long-term sense for us.
Ashish, hi, Avan as well joining in on the discussion. I wanted to just get in your outlook overall on your business segments, energy, environment, and chemical. Given that energy, of course, is the key contributor to your total revenue pie, you did acknowledge to the fact that we are seeing some sort of a slowdown in large orders. So what kind of growth are you seeing individually for each of these businesses?
Overall, still very bullish. Yeah, Thermax has moved from a 5,000, 4,500 crore number to a number where an 8,000 to a 9,000 crore kind of a base in a short period of 2 to 3 years. Even that looks reasonably sustainable. The question is, how do we find new levers of growth and where do we move from here? And that is what we are working on. So when I say large projects have slowed down, I mean it from a glass which is more than half full. Yeah, we see still a lot of opportunities to invest, a lot of opportunities where generally our kind of project capabilities are big in demand. The entire ethanol, sugar plants, beverages doing extremely well. Lot of industries looking at waste heat recovery solutions. Biomass is a big area of growth for us. We are very active on the bio-CNG side as well. So not short of opportunities to build on and work on across all the segments that you talked about here. Chemicals, we continue to build on our products. On our water side, we have practically doubled our business in the last 3 years, and we'll continue to grow it. We're investing heavily in services. So as I look at the next 3 years, I think we see tremendous opportunities to continue to build on what we have developed so far.
Okay, and finally, what's your expectation when it comes to the budget? Because it's expected to be very, capex oriented, a lot of thrust on infrastructure that could, potentially spur or further spur the capex cycle going down the line. Just a couple of weeks away, Ashish, what's your expectation?
I would say the finance ministry and the entire budget building exercise over the last 2 years has shown what we have done right. Yeah, which is not try to do too much, not try to solve everything, focus on keeping a reasonably tight budget, and we will have good revenues. So keeping the budget deficit below 6% should be a goal, not letting the overall interest rates go up, and then focus on fundamental demand development, which is what the government has done the last couple of years. And after you do the demand development, the rest of the industry, the private capex, the private consumption, all of that, which has been strong for these last 12 months, let those engines run. Yeah, not try to overdo it. That would be my simple suggestion. We are on a good track. Keep it that way.
Okay, so we're going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for being live with us today and also being so candid. The next big thing, of course, being spoken about is green energy and Thermax. Therefore, you're being so candid on how it's going to navigate through the competition. Early days yet, will it get its own electrolyzer? Will it transfer the technology? That and a lot more.